Hi guys, welcome to Cumbrian Lad Outdoors and welcome to today's video. Been working this morning, 6 o'clock start until 11, 5 hours, and when I finish work I've drove 2 hours over to Teeside and I'm walking a short section of the Cleveland Way up to Captain Cook's Monument. And of course, all of you know Camping Dan. Camping Dan lives over this way. So here he is. Camping Dan, the Crumble Man and the Cumbrian Yeti out on a wild camp. It's not a very long section of the Cleveland Way this. It's only about 20 minutes, half an hour. So we're both looking forward to getting up to that monument and a good chill out, hopefully take in some nice views. However, all of Cumbria, when I checked the weather, yellow weather warning for rain, starting at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's supposed to hit us here somewhere between 6 and 7. So it's a good option for myself and Dan. Gives us a little bit of opportunity to get the chairs set up, sit down and have a good catch up. Right, onwards. We have changed from a mud path to a stone path now. And just a little bit before Captain Cook's Monument is this a memorial for the military, RAF, Lockheed Hudson. The leading aircraftman Athon Barber survived the crash, but Officer Barker didn't. Oh, it's nice to see some poppies there as well. And just a little bit further on the path from that memorial we have Captain Cook's Monument. So I'll get a little bit closer and we'll have a look around. And here we are, Captain Cook's Monument. A lot taller when you're right at the bottom of it than you are walking up to it, that's for sure. But yeah, in memory of the celebrated circumnavigator Captain James Cook. Since getting up here the breeze has picked up a little bit. It's not terrible, quite happy with that. The view is a little bit hazy, misty, although it's not sunny, it just looks a bit hazy. We'll just get to this edge and have a wee look. Just looking back to the monument there, you can see what kind of weather conditions we've got and you can see what I mean by it looks a bit hazy. It's still a cracking view. It looks like that rain is most definitely heading our way. And just in the distance there, Dan says that is Roseberry Topping.
Famous shaped.
And just looking around, we do have options for pitches up here. There's one nice one there. A couple of little flat bits over there and dips down the other side. Dan's just saying just back there, if we do need to get behind a wall, we've got a bit of cover if we need it. There's a wall just over there. So myself and Dan, we are just going to have a little scout around, find ourselves where we're going to pitch the tents for the evening. And then I dare say it might be beer o'clock, and we've had ourselves a little walk around. The breeze is still picking up and the rain's definitely on its way. We found a cracking little spot with a little bit of cover out the wind. We just had a wander down that way, but if I spin you round back towards the monument, you can see we found a lovely little clearing with a few trees. Definitely get hammocks in here and you can see the monument just through there. However, despite the warning signs around here about fires destroying moorland, somebody's had a fire. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not against fires. I have fires in my woods which I'm allowed to, and there are certain occasions, you know, like I did in Lacey's Caves where I had my fireball with me and had it off the ground, but out here on the open moorland there's no excuse for that. Not in my book anyways. So for now, myself and Dan, we're just going to get the chairs set up and make a decision on when we've got to get the tents up. It's probably a little early just yet. In fact, there's no probably about it. It is too early. However, we want to be ready if that wind comes. So camera's going down, we'll see you in a bit. Dan and I have been sat out for a little while now, and we've felt a few spots of rain, and the mist keeps blowing in and then clearing itself. So we have decided to get set up just in that little bit of woodland that I showed you before, which is providing us with a little bit of respite from the wind, but we can still definitely feel the wind. I am back out in my favourite tent, Terra Nova Northern Light 2. I absolutely love this tent. There's loads of space. Usual setup inside: Seater Summit Etherlite XT Extreme and my OEX Leviathan EV900. Tactical Duck is looking after the Stella. If you know, you know. Got my jet boil there. And for tea tonight, out of my military ration pack, I've got Pindi Chana Aloo and some chocolate brownie. I was hoping to get the drone up tonight, but that wind's too strong, and with the mist coming, I'm not going to get to see anything. Dan's in his new tent, the OEX Fox 2 version 2. My old favourite tent, and in my honest opinion, the best value for money tent on the market. If you're looking to get into wild camping and you don't have a massive budget, then this tent is definitely for you. The version 2 does have the thicker woven mesh on the inner. The advantage to that is it provides you with more protection from the wind, but in the summertime when you open your outer door but it's a bit breezy and you want to keep the inner door closed, you can't see out of it. Dan's got a lovely comfortable looking mattress there and a Hibernate 400 DL sleeping bag. Got his food and his gas and his cook set there. We've got what remains of the view of Captain Cook's monument through the trees and the mist. What a cracking little place to pitch for the night. Before the rain comes heavy, and it is going to come heavy, we're going to have a long time in our tents listening to that rain bounce off the outer fly sheet. So myself and Dan, we're going to have another beer and sit out while we can. So I'll bring you back once I'm inside the tent. Well, myself and Dan sat out for as long as we could. Unfortunately, the wind and the rain has arrived. As you can hear, we've been sat in my tent for a little while, just chewing the cud and having a really good catch up. Dan's just headed over to the Fox 2 to cook his food, and I'm getting quite hungry, so it is most definitely time to get some food on. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to boil the jet boil up and get my Indian for tea tonight on the go, and then I've got some chocolate cake for pudding, so I'm really looking forward to that. I don't think we're going to get any respite from this wind and rain, I really don't. Although the tent isn't looking too bad, the wind's really quite getting up and the rain is consistent, so there's not much chance for sitting out much longer. So we're both in our tents for the foreseeable till morning, I think. I have said to Dan he's more than welcome to come and join me for a crack after we've had some food. So yeah, it's jet boil time. Oh boy, am I ready for this. Pindi Chana Aloo from the British MRE 24-hour ration pack. It's a smaller packet and it's filled out better, so I think this is a lot better for fitting in the jet boil. A lot of chickpeas in there. I think this one might actually be vegetarian, which doesn't matter to me. I do like my meat, but as long as it's got the calories for camp. Nice and warm. Very tasty. The advantage over the boil in the bag meals for me over the dehydrated meals is it gives you much more substance. You feel like you're having more of a meal, with exception to the Real Term app, which, as you all know, are my absolute go-to for camping out in the mountains. But certainly for tonight, the boil in the bag is doing the treat. although it is very heavy on the chickpeas. In fact, I'll go one step further than that and say it's all chickpeas. But it tastes really nice. And it's definitely filling my belly with something nice and warm. Wow, that wind's really getting up now. Although the rain has still subsided, that wind's really picking up. The MRE Pindi Chana Aloo was very tasty. Like I say, a bit heavy on the chickpeas, but it was a vegetarian dish, so overall I would say 6.5 out of 10 for that. But it's time for the chocolate brownie now, and with this you get what you pays for. Very basic, a bit dry and brittle. As you can see, it's broke off as I've pulled out the pack. But it's very, very chocolatey. Chewy, but chocolatey, and it definitely does the job. This would normally be the time where I say I wish you enjoy the pictures and the drone footage that I've got you for overnight. Unfortunately, on this occasion the weather's not been on our side. I've not managed to get the drone up, and I've only got very few pictures due to the mist and the rain. Dan might come over for a bit of a crack later on, but I can't imagine there's going to be much opportunity for filming from now onwards. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my night, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning everyone. All things considered, that was a pretty good night's sleep. The really heavy rain never came. We had consistent rain till the early hours of the morning, along with quite strong wind. But it is now 6:15 in the morning. No wind, no rain. Slept on and off pretty well really, you know, waking up with the noise of the wind, but managing to get myself back off to sleep. At the moment, 14 hours and 15 minutes tent bound. Consequently my back is quite stiff and sore. But other than that, a cracking camp with some cracking company with Camping Dan the Crumble Man. As you can no doubt hear, I've got my jet boil on. It's time for a coffee. Have no breakfast with me this morning. Short walk back to the car, and then I'll grab some breakfast when I'm driving home. So for now it's most definitely coffee time. Camping Dan is also up. He's getting himself a cuppa as well, and he's just said best drink of the day. It most definitely is. Sort us right out for the walk back to the car. And after being tent bound for over 14 hours, I'm very much looking forward to getting myself out of my tent and stretching my legs. But having a tent like this, where it's absolutely massive inside, definitely has its plus points on camps like this. That is for sure. We never know, maybe the skies have cleared and I'll be able to get some photographs this morning. Potentially even get the drone up as well, but we'll see what time myself and Dan head back to the car and what the light outside is looking like. So for now, I'm going to go and finish my coffee before I start packing up. Well, that is myself and Dan all packed up and ready to go home. Over towards the tower is still very misty, but we do have a few little bits of views opening up looking down towards Great Ayton. That area there was where I had my tent. You can see we've left nothing behind there. That was where Dan had his tent. Nothing left behind there. Dan has got the rubbish bag ready to go with us. So as always, and as it should be, we'll be leaving no trace. Thank you very much for joining myself and Dan on this one. Unfortunately, with the weather, we didn't get the great views we were looking for, but nevertheless, myself and Dan, we had a cracking camp. So once again, until next time, stay safe, much love. From a Cumbrian lad and Camping Dan, the Crumble Man.